What is up, NASCAR racing fans? You're watching the NASCAR Nitro Series on the HSL Diecast Racing channel, and we're here at the historic Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Indy 400. We're going to kick off the Indy festivities with stock qualifying today. We got two identical 90-degree turns just like the real Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and the favorite has got to be, once again, Far Out Jay. He won the last race at Charlotte. He got into the main event against the mod, so he's got that all-important momentum on his side. But first, he's going to have to get through our points leader, William. He's going to be going up against Benny Parsons. No, wait, that's Dave Marcus. And Dave Marcus and Benny Parsons, of course, bought their cars from Mark D after he sent replacements in for Coffee Tart and Crazy Ruby. And Dave Marcus is now beating our points leader from the outside. William gets caught up in turn number 2 and stalls. He'll have to race his way in the last chance showdown. It's going to be a terrible starting spot for our points leader if he even gets it in. And this makes it the perfect time for Skeeter Davis, lurking behind him in the points all season, to take advantage of it and strike while the iron's hot. He's going up against Russ, side drafts him on the straightaway, beats him by over a track segment. Russ is slowing down to a near stop, but he gets there just in time. He'll be in the race, but not a great starting spot. And now it's Johnson Jr., our all-time wins leader, going up against Margot in the number 22 for the Gimpy Gang. And look at Margot take off flying. She's got a car length lead heading in between the turns. I don't think there's anything Johnson Jr. can do about it here. These Camaros are fast. Locks himself into the race, but he'll have to fight for a good finish and fight to keep himself in championship contention. Another guy in that boat is going to be N-Count. And he's going up against Gale for In-Laws Racing. Got a podium in her debut at Sonoma. And N-Count gets his nose under Gale heading into turn 1, but she side drafts him off the track. That is a DNF for N-Count. Another one of the big names that'll have to race his way in the last chance race. And up next we have Baby Richie going up against Charlie. Let's see if he can avoid that fate. Charlie gets a great launch out of the start gate. Has a track segment lead before they even enter the fat track portion. And Charlie, coming off her first career main event appearance, is going to carry that momentum across the line for another blowout win in the first round by the outside lane. Tries to bounce back and block Baby Richie at the last second, but that's unsuccessful. He's still in the race. And up next we have Richie going up against Emerson, and it's more of the same. Not quite as big of a lead heading into the turns, but it's still going to take a mistake on Emerson's part to keep the inside lane from starting out 1 and 5, and it looks like Emerson's going to cross the line by over a track segment. Regular Richie coming to a crawl at the finish line. And up next, it's Morgan Shepherd, who drew the short straw to go up against Far Out Jay, the heavy favorite heading into this race. Well, he didn't really draw a straw, but that's where the numbers worked in the point standings. And Far Out Jay's got a track segment lead over Morgan Shepherd, who looked like a championship contender in the early portions of the season. And Far Out Jay leaves turn number 2, crosses the line. Morgan Shepherd does make it across. And up next, we have Tristan Racewelski going up against Lunatic Alicia. And I kind of screwed up there. I put Lunatic Alicia on the inside, but it doesn't matter. She takes the lead from Tristan Racewelski. They get loose heading into the turns. Tristan tries to cut underneath, gets tossed off the track by Alicia on his roof. He'll have to race his way in the last chance challenge. And now we have two veterans from the Sub 4RA channel and Lord Shank's channel. Vinny Nightlife going up against Coffee Tart. And Coffee Tart, that car is wicked fast, leaving Vinny in the dust. He is sliding all over the track trying to find something, and he bends it without contact. He'll have to race his way into absolute dominance by Coffee Tart, and it looks like Rusty Wallace is going to do the same. Already a 3-car length lead before they even leave the ramp over Texas Terry. These two have traded paint quite often in real life back in the 90s, and it looks like Rusty Wallace is going to have the upper hand today. And if you notice a little bit of reverb, a little bit of echoing, it's because I'm on vacation. The weather is bad today, which is why I'm recording this. And no matter what room I'm in, every single room in this Airbnb echoes when you talk. It's just, I guess, the way the architects designed it. Meanwhile, we got the number 11 of Jimbo Rockford going up against Rowan. And Jimbo Rockford bins it in turn number 1, holds up Rowan. Rowan drives off the track. It's a double DNF. Jimbo Rockford and Rowan both have to race their way in. Now let's see if Isaac and Lord Shank can avoid that too. Lord Shank jumps out to a 3-4 car length lead heading into the fat track. He is flying so fast I can't even catch up with him. Isaac starts to gain some ground in turn number 1, but look at Lord Shank go flying. Even though he gets a little loose, still beats him by a track segment. And up next, we have Crazy Ruby going up against Clyde. These two have a history going back to the All-Star Open, and they are still neck and neck heading into the fat track. It looks like Crazy Ruby has the ever so slightest advantage coming out of turn 1, heading into turn 2. Clyde gets wobbly and loses power, stalls in the turn. Now both McDonald twins are going to have to race their way in the last chance race. What an unprecedented turn of events, and look at this. Nessa Force is just flying away from Riot Isaac. He loses a ton of power in turn number 1. Nessa Force takes it by half a lap, moves on to the round of 16. Riot Isaac stalls out in the same spot that Clyde did. And coming up next, we got a pair of Hot Wheels Pro Racers. We have Gator McCluskey and Sawyer. Very similar castings. The same wheels. They are neck and neck heading into the turn. Sawyer's entering with a slight advantage, but Gator McCluskey boxes him up against the guardrail. Sawyer turns sideways in the middle of the turn, loses all of his speed. A nightmare for him. Gator McCluskey moves on. Another fast car going into the last chance race. And up next, it's the Sloppy Bear teammates of Pantone and Violet. And look at Pantone. He entered the turn with a 2-track segment lead. Violet catches up to his back bumper. Gives him that last jolt of energy to cross the finish line. But will he make it? Yes, he does. Good teammate moment of the year right there for Violet. A noble self-sacrifice to ensure Pantone gets a good starting spot. And we're on to the round of 16. And we got Skeeter Davis going up against Johnson Jr., the highest ranking driver, to finish that lap without waiting because of a double DNF. And as expected, Skeeter Davis is cruising his way to a comfortable win and a spot in the Elite 8 front row of his segment. And now we have the pair of 71 cars. Coffee Tart going up against her old ride, which is now manned by Dave Marcus. And look at Dave Marcus actually has a bumper length lead heading into the turns, but Coffee Tart, the crafty veteran that she is, outmaneuvers him in turn number 1, now has a 2-car length lead heading out of the second turn. And she ends up taking it over Dave Marcus by over 2 car lengths, and now we have another pair of equally matched cars based on speed. They're both neck and neck heading towards the bottom of the ramp and into the fat tracks. Margot with a bumper length lead on the outside. That might not be enough to get ahead of Rusty Wallace, and he reverse side drafts her in turn number 1. She remains glued to his back bumper, but it's going to be Rusty Wallace by less than a car length, as you can see on the replay there. What an exciting end to that lap. Let's see if this contest between Gator McCluskey and Gale can live up to that. And now Gale has a car length lead heading towards the fat track. But look at this. Gator McCluskey drops the hammer, surges past her heading into the turns, throws a reverse side draft, and then another block at the bottom. Gator McCluskey wants this really bad. He took that round after looking like he was going to be left for dead. But Pantone might not be so lucky. Look at that launch that Charlie gets out of the start gate. She got a 2-track segments lead heading into turn number 1, and it just keeps getting bigger as she navigates the turns, crosses the finish line, absolutely blows past Pantone. What an utterly dominant performance by Charlie, one of the fastest laps we've seen so far. And this one's looking to be a lot closer. Nessa Force going up against Emerson, still neck and neck heading into turn number 1. Nessa Force gets the advantage, throws the block, completes the flip into reverse, does not lose any speed while blocking Emerson. What an incredible drive for Nessa Force. And we're going to show you the second half of this lap again on the replay. Just what an incredible drive by Nessa Force. She wanted a front row starting spot in the worst way, and she gets it with some absolutely incredible acrobatic driving. And let's see if Far Out Jay and Crazy Ruby, two of the most exciting drivers as of late, can provide the same level of excitement here. Far Out Jay has just enough distance on Crazy Ruby to move underneath and throw the block on Crazy Ruby in turn number 1. He's making that car 2 lanes wide. Far Out Jay moves on to the round of 8. And up next is Lord Shank versus Alicia Lunatic. And this time the veteran Lord Shank, having one of the best drives of his life so far, takes a 2-car length lead over Alicia Lunatic before they even reach the fat track. She catches up to his back bumper. He moves underneath to throw a block. Lord Shank gets loose heading towards the finish line, still takes it, moves on to the round of 8, which is going to be kicked off by Charlie and Skeeter Davis, two of the fastest cars on the circuit right now. And they are living up to it side by side all the way down the split portion of the track. And now look at this. Neither driver has the advantage coming out of turn 1. Skeeter Davis, with the smallest of margins, throws a block and takes it at the last second. And we got to show you the replay of this. Skeeter Davis keeping Charlie pinned to the outside wall. What an epic start to the round of 8. Skeeter Davis starting on the pole of an early segment. Anything more surprising than that? And let's see if Lord Shank or Rusty Wallace is going to join him there. Lord Shank gets a car length lead heading out of the start gate. But Rusty Wallace tries tucking underneath him, misses, slides up the track. And he's trying to do anything to catch Lord Shank, but he ends up spinning out. Lord Shank cruises across the finish line, locks himself the pole of an early segment. And up next, we got Coffee Tart going up against Far Out Jay, two of the fastest and hottest drivers on the circuit right now. Finished 1-2 in the Coca-Cola 600. And Coffee Tart, with a car length lead, slides up in front of Far Out Jay in turn number 1, increases her lead in turn number 2, takes the W, moves on to the final 4, and now it's Gator McCluskey and Nessa Force. Both of them won absolute thrillers earlier in this segment, and now they're fighting for a coveted top 4 starting spot. Nessa Force has a half a car length lead heading into turn number 1. But look at this. Gator McCluskey flies out of turn number 2, takes it at the last second, and now he'll be facing his teammate Skeeter Davis for a chance at the pole position. And both of their cars neck and neck heading towards the bottom of the ramp. Still in the fat track, side by side. Nobody has a clear advantage. Skeeter Davis reverse side drafts his teammate. Sends him spinning in turn number 2. Flies across the finish line, and now he's waiting to see who he will face for the pole position. Will it be Coffee Tart or will it be Lord Shank? Coffee Tart, of course, a veteran on Lord Shank's racing channel. She almost won the championship last year. She's a car length ahead of Lord Shank heading into turn number 1, gaining more ground the further they speed along the track. Coffee Tart now has half a track segment lead coming out of turn number 2, and it's going to be Coffee Tart going up against Skeeter Davis for the pole. And the gates are down. This is it. 2 of the fastest cars in the Nitro Series. Side by side, nobody really has a clear advantage heading into the fat track. They both won it in the worst way. Still side by side in turn number 1. Skeeter Davis side drafts Coffee Tart. Now she moves to the inside, tries to hook Skeeter Davis. It doesn't work. Skeeter Davis is your pole sitter. And now with the pole sitter all settled, here are the drivers that didn't win their first round matchups. It's the consolation bracket, and these drivers are trying their hardest to avoid the double loss column, trying to salvage a couple extra starting spots. And so far, Russ has the advantage over his satellite teammate, Baby Richie. He tries to poke his nose in there. It doesn't work. Russ turns sideways, throws the last second block. And now it's time for Texas Terry to go up against Normal Richie. And of course, Normal Richie won a race earlier this season. He's not happy at all to be in the consolation bracket. And he tries to spin out the reconstructed car of Texas Terry. He avoids that attack. Texas Terry now has a 2-car length lead heading towards the finish line. Both of them are going to finish. Texas Terry gets a slightly better starting spot. And let's see if his teammate can do the same. Morgan Shepherd, once a championship contender, much like Richie, isn't happy to be here at all. And it looks like he's got a car length lead over Isaac between the turns. Isaac tries to move low and do something, but Morgan Shepherd slams the door shut, cruises his way to victory. And here are the draws for your 2nd and 3rd place, 4th and 5th. Here's your second round eliminations. Good starts for Emerson, Dave Marcus, and Pantoni. Not so much for Crazy Ruby and Alicia Lunatic. I guess being crazy doesn't pay sometimes. Morgan Shepherd for the consolation winners. And Baby Richie gets the high draw for the 0-2 drivers. And now it's finally time for the field filler races. The drivers that finish get into the race unless we have more than 43 drivers that finish this. If we have less, we're lining the cars up on the infield. And those that travel the farthest get to be your last couple starters. And the gates are down. Riot Isaac got a fast car in front of him, but he struggles, stalls it in the turns. He's at risk of missing this race. Meanwhile, End Count looks pretty good, pushes Kyle Petty into the race. And we got 2 race winners from last season on the front row here. Let's see if Tristan can get through them. He does. He beats Jimmy to the line, and these part-time field fillers must be stoked to be racing against the celebrities. And that's a DNF for Clyde. He better pray for more DNFs in the rest of these segments, or that'll be a second DNQ in the next 3 races. And the way some of these drivers have been driving, he'll probably still get in. That's a quadruple DNF right there. And look at Violet launch Martin Truex out of the gate there. They lose their speed in the turn, though. And there's Vinny Nightlife, and El Recco for him. Vinny Nightlife won't be racing. For Riot Isaac, it's going to be close, though. Martin Truex, AJ Foyt, and there's 1 car left after them. Will it be him or Lake Speed or Bobby Labonte? Let's get out the measurer and see. And here we're going to tilt the screen. It is Lake Speed. Violet, Sawyer, and Riot Isaac, also DNQ. A couple of shockers right there. And here are your draws for the last chance race, guys, the field fillers and whatnot. All these guys are going to be starting towards the back anyway. Basically, it's for seating if you wreck on whichever lap you wreck on. And here is your final starting lineup. And we got Skeeter Davis on the pole, Coffee Tart, Gator McCluskey, Lord Shank, Charlie and Nessa Force, your segment pole sitters. A lot of big names starting in the back. They can't be happy with their starting positions. This is going to be one exciting show. I cannot wait for the racing to begin here. Will it be Skeeter Davis, Coffee Tart, Far Out Jay, or somebody else? That takes the checkered flag here. I can't wait to see it. And as always, like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you out there on the track.